Sick. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Deercast. We're here again at Stalking show. Today, or for this session, sorry, we are joined by Faye, one of our good friends. Faye and I did some roebuck stalking back in, was it August last year? Yeah. Which was a really good trip, really fun. Faye is a gamekeeper up in Bedfordshire and has very kindly joined us here on the stand to have a little bit of talk about who she is, what she does, and probably how this season has been for you. And for our listeners, if you can hear some really weird noises in the background, the stag calling competition is taking place. So that's not Harry or my tummy's rumbling or I don't know anything else. That's people practicing their deer calls. But yeah, Faye, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure. So, for our listeners who don't know who you are, probably because Instagram has blocked you because you seem to be their latest victim at the moment. Do you want to just tell everyone a little bit about you and who you are?
So I'm Faye. I'm from Bedfordshire, as you know. I run a small shoot. We do sort of around 15 days, 150 birds. And then obviously I do a bit of guiding as well for Paul Childley at Beckerings.
Very nice. And a very hot shot because I'm
not sure about that. I'm just lucky at times.
I remember for our Seeland day, so Seeland arranged for 3 people to come out stalking with a couple of us, and I was one of the guides for that event, and we had set up a steel roebuck target out in the field as like a practice, and so Faye turned up along with 2 other of the Seeland ambassadors, gave each of them a rifle and said, right, have a couple of shots, get yourself comfortable on the roebuck target. Of course, the other 2 were sort of going for the classic heart-lung shot, sort of disc on the target. Faye straight in, headshot, 3 rapid succession, straight in the head, and we were like, right, okay, think Faye can shoot. Yeah, we're away.
You're making it sound cocky now, and I'm not cocky.
No. Very, very again, you did it in such a modest way that we were like, okay, we're not going to have any problems with Faye this weekend.
Yeah, but saying that as well, I did have my own rifle. So the other 2 had to borrow their rifle, but I brought my own rifle. 308.
Yeah.
Nice and strong.
Another 308.
Another 308, yeah.
With 3 308 shots.
Yeah. I do have a Creedmoor though, but I love my 308.
You've just recently got a new rifle, haven't you?
Yeah, it's a 6.5 Creedmoor, yeah.
Is that a Seiko S20? Persuaded by...
Sorry?
Same as Paul's one?
Same as Paul's, yeah.
What do you think of it? Because I think it looks quite nice. We were having a little play with one earlier, weren't we?
Yeah. I quite like it because it's rough tech.
Oh yeah.
So you've got a bit of grip to it, because obviously the normal sort of S20s that are like the grey black colour, I find them too smooth. And I didn't really initially I didn't like the look of them because I think a rifle should look a traditional rifle until I used it and went, wow, this is actually really comfortable. So then I got one.
That thumb hole grip.
Yeah.
It makes such a difference to have a kind of more of a trigger grip to it.
But
really
you have
nice.
to as well, with that, you have to get used to putting them on the sticks because you have to hold it differently. Because I shoot Tikkas normally, Tikkas T3s, and to put them on the sticks, to put them on your quads, you just sort of flip them on, but you have to hold it in a different place, I find, to try and get a smooth sort of action.
Okay.
That could just be me though, because I am cack-handed.
Well, it's interesting that you still got your 308, because we were talking to who was it 2 days ago? Remind me.
I've got the memory of a goldfish, so you've got absolutely no hope of me remembering. But I do remember vaguely talking to someone who said they used to use a 308, and now they've got a 6.5. Oh, it's Mike Robinson. Mike Robinson, there you go.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike. And he said he's replaced his 308, his 243, and his 6.5x55, all with a 6.5 Creedmoor.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He seems to think it's going to do everything for him.
It should do.
Yeah.
It should do.
You still got the 308?
I still got my 308, and I think I like using my 308 as well because obviously I've got the best scope I've ever had on it, which is a Swarovski.
Very nice.
Yeah, a Z8i, and I love it as well because I've just got used to it as well with the drop. So I know at say 250, I know where I'm aiming.
Yeah.
With the Creedmoor, it's pretty much the same bullet sort of drop on it to up to 500. I'm not shooting up to 500. If you're a hero, you might, but I don't.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much the same, but I brought the 6.5 as well because obviously the guiding.
Yeah,
the 308, some people don't like the recoil as much because there's less recoil on the 6.5 to the 308, I find. And I use a heavy 308. I have a varmint. So.
And what sort of bullets are you using in your 308?
In my 308, 123 gram Seikos. That's what they're in at the moment.
Are they fairly light, really?
Yeah.
And are they the lead-free ones? No.
No, not lead free yet. Don't need to be just yet.
Yeah. And so, how's this year's deer season been for you?
Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah.
It's been good. Yeah. Yeah, we've done a fair few Chinese water deer. I don't actually know the number that's been culled, but it's been busy.
Because for them, I imagine it must have been a fairly normal year, but out in the middle of these horrible,
swamps.
wet, horrible swamps. But they're probably loving it out there.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, so I found at the beginning of the season there was less about.
Yeah.
And then as soon as the rut hit around our way, they literally just came in from all angles.
Yeah.
And it got really busy.
Nice. And are you using the 6.5 on the...
I'll use a 6.5 or I'll use a 2.43.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
On the chinks, yeah.
Interesting.
Like when I take people out.
And meat damage?
I think the 308 probably does less meat damage than my 243.
Yeah.
So that's what I've always found. Like people, when I've said to them, I've shot a muntjac with a 308, they're like, oh bloody hell, there'll be nothing left of it. But I find yes, it probably punches a bigger in terms of diameter exit hole.
Yeah.
But it doesn't like rip through everything in the same way. Like it's, I don't know.
So I have a 22-250 as well that I use for foxing.
Yeah.
And you can use that obviously on Chinese and muntjac, and that literally just obliterates them.
Yeah.
But I am obviously using ballistic tips because it's a foxing round.
Yeah.
But it makes so much more meat damage compared to a 308. You have to be careful as well with a 308, I find, because I've done it before. You neck shoot them and you can just pinhole them because you've got to be real careful where because the bone isn't as, say, sort of dense as, say, a fallow, so it just goes straight through the bone, straight through the bone.
No. For it there, yeah. No, I found that before. But similarly with neck shot, it's quite easy to graze off sometimes. Interesting.
So, I'm going to put you on the spot here. So I don't know if you've listened to our other podcasts. No offence. We won't take offence if you haven't, Faye, because I know you're very busy. But the reason I ask is it'll make sense. On our podcast, we do a thing called Bobby's Bits.
Okay.
Not as dodgy as it sounds again, I promise. It all stems from Harry's younger brother took a gap year, and when he took that gap year, he was still living at home, so he was earning a full-time wage, living at home, no bills to pay, living the dream, went out and bought all the kit he possibly could, deer stalking kit, I should say, so we named a bit of our podcast after him, which is called Bobby's Bits, and it's all about, what bit of kit are you most like hankering after at the moment? And I sort of thought, given that we're here at the Stalking Show, what are you after, and is there something you've got your eye on here at the show?
Anything really. I like loads of stuff, and that's the trouble. I am looking for another scope.
As well as your Z8i, Swarovski?
Yeah.
Really?
To put on the Creedmoor.
Oh, okay.
Because at the moment I've got I've got an MTC on it. It's cheap and cheerful. And it's great. You can put the pard on the back and you can shoot it with that. I am looking, and I'll probably go glass, and it'll probably be a Swarovski.
Nice. Swarovski are here. They're over there, aren't they? I mean, that's going to be terrible audio for our listeners, because when I'm pointing saying over there, they have no idea where. But
maybe I'll go for second hand though, because they are pretty pricey.
They are.
Yeah.
I've seen Matt's got one of those DS scopes.
Yeah.
I think it's in that video, isn't it? Yeah. That we were just watching, the Seeland one.
Oh yeah.
That looks like an incredible piece of kit. I've never used one in anger, but does he actually use that on his rifle day to day?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's something about it I just still don't trust.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Too much wizardry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do a bit for ATN as well, which is obviously digital scopes.
Yeah.
And I have faith in that now. But to begin with, I didn't have any faith in digital scopes whatsoever.
Yeah.
They're not as good as glass. But then I have it for foxing.
Yeah.
So to put it on, to have it as night vision, and then you can change it to day mode if you do happen to obviously be out on the day and you see a deer or whatever, and you can take it out there. Yeah, it's a bit more grainy than, say, glass, but it fits the purpose.
Yeah.
And you always worry, straight away, as soon as I sort of zeroed it in, I jotted down the coordinates, because you can, sometimes if you reset them, you have to re-zero it. But with glass, once it's on, it's set, isn't it, unless you knock it. But I've never had an issue with it.
Really?
Yeah, never.
My worry would always be that, if I was about to take the shot and it just, died, and,
as in the battery?
You'd lose all picture, wouldn't you? And that would just be it. And that's you'll stalk over.
Yeah. Yeah, well, they do actually last quite long, the battery life on them. I have obviously a thermal scope as well that I use, and which I put on the 243.
Yeah.
And you have to be careful when it doesn't sync, because obviously thermals, they like resync themselves.
Yeah.
So just as you're about to take the shot, it does count down, but it can resync, and that can really put you off.
I'd never thought about that, because my Pulsar handheld thermal will do that. And sometimes you do that when you're like scanning left to right, and you think you're about to see something, and then it will like sync, and you're like, wait, what? Yeah, I thought about that with the rifle scope actually.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, it's been cautious of.
And have you got many Robux to do this?
Robux,
No.
No, I've got literally. If you see a row in Bedfordshire, it disappears.
No.
Yeah, we've got hardly any row. There's a few places there is row, but all the ground that I'm on, I've never seen a row on it. No, mate, Chinese, mudjack, and then the occasional fallow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you've got a bit of time off now to kind of maybe enjoy the summer and then back to it again?
Yeah, a little bit, but obviously I'm getting the birds and everything, and I'll be rearing from day olds.
Oh, you're rearing as
well? So once sort of middle of May sort of hits, then that's it, day olds, and off I go again.
Hang on, so is April your only month off?
Pretty much, yeah, I would say so.
And so we're taking up however long this has been, 20 minutes, and your only month off on the podcast with us. I'm now feeling really guilty.
Exactly.
It's all right, I got a sticker out of it, so.
Well, maybe a free hat as well.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. Thank you very much, Faye. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for sticking around. I know we've not been the easiest to track down so far at the show, so thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.